When you hear about corruption, the things that come to mind are usually bribes or kickbacks. But it's not always so simple. Let's talk about an aspect of corruption that is present in all the major scandals: conflicts of interest. In simple terms, a conflict of interest is when one person has multiple competing interests that may influence their decision making. Let's paint a picture. Your city council appoints a local company to manage waste in the area to keep your city clean. However, shortly after, waste begins to fill the streets and collection rarely arrives on time. Soon you discover that the CEO of this company is related to the local councillor involved with the decision-making process. This is a clear-cut case of conflict of interest. There are many kinds of interests, and here are some examples. Number 1, financial interests. When an individual owns anything of material value that has the potential for financial gain. For example, when an individual holds shares in a company. Number 2, relational interests. This is any personal relationships that a person may have. For example, friends or family. Number 3, political interests. When a person has any political affiliations or believes in any particular political ideology. This can be seen in joining a political party. Having these interests is not an example of a person being corrupt. Instead, it creates a risk for them to act improperly. To further understand the framework of conflicts of interest, there are 3 important things to understand. Number 1, official responsibility. This is essentially any official duty or professional responsibility that an individual holds. Number 2, competing interests. This is the interest that competes with their official responsibility. And number 3, decision-making ability. This is the potential for a person's official responsibility to affect the outcome or result of a person's competing interest. Here's an example. The chief of the anti-corruption agency has shares in a company that is linked with corruption. They can use their official responsibility as the anti-corruption chief to protect their competing interests by deterring investigations against this company. Conflicts of interest can be broken down into 2 further categories: real conflicts of interest and apparent conflicts of interest. A real conflict of interest occurs when a person's decision-making ability is directly impacted by a conflict. Secondly, an apparent conflict of interest is when there is reasonable belief that a competing interest may impact a person's decision-making ability. Why do conflicts of interest matter? Well, at the end of the day, conflicts of interest have the ability to impact the actions or decision-making of an individual. In government, this matters because the public interest must be served by government officials, but conflicts of interest can warp those decisions to serve individual gain. At the end of the day, conflicts of interest have the potential to create more harmful forms of corruption within government, such as cronyism, nepotism, political patronage, and general favoritism. This means that decisions are not made based on merit, but for individual gain or to benefit connections.